Alright guys, we've got about 30 minutes until the Zoom call starts. So I'm just going to let the chart run in the background. This is one of our signal charts and we'll get started shortly. Okay guys, welcome to the group Zoom call, which is now actually a YouTube call too. So as many of you know, we've had our group Zoom calls in our unlisted private channel on YouTube. And if I look at the YouTube channel, if you guys look at the channel, you will see that we had probably, let me just have a very quick look. I didn't want to bring this up right now, but I'm here anyway, so I might as well just check. If I look at my channel, I see in the unlisted YouTube section where we do all of our weekly Zoom calls, it's just taking a while to come on at the moment. Come on, where are you? We have got over, there's 81. So there's 81 calls in there. So 81 weeks of this regular Zoom call. I know we stop it over December, but there's been all those calls every week. So this is a vital resource for members to be able to look back on calls and also to follow the progress of the DTB system. Okay, so as I normally start every call, let me just take my timer off the screen. I figured out how to do a timer, guys. Look at that. So I put a timer on, and I'll just take my video off for a second. All right. Okay, so this is one of our signal charts. Now, this is the signal chart combo 5. Show me the money. And perfect. Okay, thanks for the chats in the Zoom and the Messenger. That's awesome. So our signal chart. Now, this is, a lot of people say they struggle with manual trading, they struggle with finding entries, but this is really pinpointing entries for you beautifully. So you will notice, this video has been running for the last 30 minutes or so, and you would have seen, if you go back on this call or on this video, even on YouTube, you will see that these markers actually form and get left behind. So the beginning of the session, the call wasn't running live yet. That was at 6:13. So at 6:13, this orange marker was left behind, and the price went up 65 ticks from when that marker painted, and it went down 11 ticks. So that was a pinpointing by the tick signal, and immediately you actually even had an arrow going up. So the price went up, another white breakout marker was formed. The price went up, it went to the 61.8 and the 61.8 4-hour Fibonacci level, as well as the 50% 5-minute Fibonacci level. So the bar painted green, which showed that the buyers were in control for a moment. Then immediately the bar painted gold, and it closed as gold. So right then we saw a resistance against our moving average ribbon over here, but also that this Fibonacci level held up. Then the price dropped. As you know, the sellers are in control when the bars are gold. So that when the bars are gold, the price is very likely to be dropping, especially when it's just failed at a Fibonacci level. And then what happened is we even had this marker over here, which happened live on this call. This red marker was left behind on the tick that had happened, and the price literally went 2 ticks up, and so far it's gone 32 ticks down. Now this is a 20 range chart. So these markers are being left behind in real time, giving you a very good pinpointing entry position to actually enter trades. So and now the price is obviously just bouncing around these markers, a little bit of indecision right now. But we do have our divergence arrows, we do have our divergence connected dotted line, and our momentum line is staying pretty much flat at the moment. So incredible signal chart. If you look at our other ones, this is our take it and run signal chart. This is another one of these. So again, for all DTB members, if you go into your control panel and you go to workspace DTB indicator sample, this is what's going to come up on your screen. So all of these charts are preloaded, and they just provide a a good indication of what price is doing, where it's likely to go next. This one has got a lot of moving averages, so you're probably seeing at the moment that the price is really stuck in this zone for quite a long time. Quite a long time. It's struggling in this zone, and this is because this is where all the 1520 SMA, the 15200 SMA, the 1 hour 50 SMA, the 15 minute 50 SMA, 1 hour 20 SMA. So all of those moving averages, it's like the price is literally on those levels. So if you had to go and open up a 15-minute chart and load a 50 simple moving average, this is where the line will be. So this indicator is really good because it's basically saving you time by opening up multiple charts, so that you don't have to go and have all these different charts open to see where these levels are. It's obviously showing you the overnight high, the overnight low, previous day open, but it's just saving you charts having open to know where all those levels are, and also to go and add all those indicators manually. So a very cool one. What is the next one we had over here? Trade support, again, showing you just a little bit of a flutter around of price at the moment. And there is our volume analytics. So I know you guys have been really loving this volume analytics. So, I look forward to seeing what else you guys do with this. Perfect. So what I wanted to cover today, I'm not going to cover the game plan for the week ahead on this call, and that is because today or tomorrow in the US it's a public holiday, so trading is basically halting, I think, at 1 p.m. or something like that. So we're not going to actually run the automated strategy on Monday. We're going to run it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we're going to run it 4 days this week. So what I'm going to be doing is later on today, I'm going to release a separate video that's going to specifically focus on the game plan and what we're going to do ahead for the week. But this call, I wanted to cover a small update that I made to the Medina Wick Trader strategy. Now, I think you guys are going to love this, and you're also going to be able to work with the strategy today. So obviously the rest of the Asian session and the little bit of the US session that you have. So I'm just going to drop my connection to this, and I'm going to just close this workspace. Okay, I'm not going to save that. And I want to go to the Medina Wick Trader strategy, and I want to pick up the playback connection. Okay. So just give this a moment to load. And I'm going to bring up a 200 chart. So 200. What days am I going to load? So I'm going to just load. Oh, I don't have to load days. I can just do 2. That's fine. Okay. So while this is loading, there we go. Okay. So I'll just let all the data actually load on here. I might even just push play on this. So I'll maximize the screen and just wait for this loading to complete. Okay, come on. Don't know why it's taking so long. So you can't click on anything while it says loading on the chart. You just got to wait for that to actually complete. And while that's running, I've actually got another chart over here. So this is a 200 on, this is also playing back. This is just a few days that I have. So I've literally was just running some playback because I test the strategies often. I just run some data to make sure that they're working. But I'm going to just start this playback in the meantime, and then we'll cover more details about this. So this one specifically got a 200 target, 200 stop. It's entering a max of 10 entries, and it's going to start trading from 7 p.m. till 4 p.m. So we'll let this run in the background, and we'll come back to that in a moment. Now, let me just see. Come on. Okay, I'll pull that out the way. If this can work, it'll be nice. Come on. Yikes. Okay, drag. You gotta be very careful with this platform. All right, so there we go, it's loaded. So with this, that's the other replay I'm gonna run in the background. Okay, so with this is a trending baseline chart, all right? So what you're gonna notice on the strategy is you're gonna notice that I have reduced the minimum retracement down to 1. So this is gonna give the strategy, when you want it to trade, it's basically gonna enter trades almost immediately. So instead of waiting for a larger retracement, that is the selection that I've put in there. I've also ticked the box to enable all open positions to exit first before new positions are entered on the opposite signal. I'm leaving the daily targets and stops open at the moment. I've got a very small space out value. I've got a very small wait distance. And in this one, I'm going to be using the first set of stops and targets. Now, primarily, we've been using the second stops and targets, or the third one actually on this list. So the strategy has got 3 different ways of handling stops and targets. And we're going to cover the first one today. Now, there is a document about the strategy that's in the, the members area in the, in the Google Drive that explains all the different, how the stops and targets work. But we're going to just run this one today, and then while it's running, I can give you more information on it. So we're setting 100 target, 200 stop, and we're trading from 7 till 4. So I'm just going to activate this strategy on this trending baseline chart. So I'm going to just start it and let it run. So this is not using any additional filters. So you will see that we haven't got any smoothing average, the signal chart combo, any of that running. But what you have noticed now is that those entries are actually filling at a very close price, and they've got their stops and target. But you're also going to notice that this is a trailing stop. So you'll see that the stops actually trailing by the 200 ticks that we have. Now, this can obviously be used on any trading chart. So, you can obviously adjust your trailing stop ticks and all of that. But the cool thing about this is if at any time you want to adjust your stop. So say, for example, over there, I'm just going to reduce this a little bit, the speed of this. If at any time you want to reduce your stops, you can actually drag down your stop like that. Okay, so any of your stops, you can actually drag them down to reduce your exposure. To reduce where the price has to go to actually stop out. But your targets will always stay the same. So whatever your targets are set over here as your target ticks, they are going to remain, but you're able to adjust your stop. So this is a good way of, say for example, there we're in 7 positions and we don't want to enter any more trades, even though we can enter up to 10. By pressing the start button again, it's actually putting the strategy in like a pause mode where it's not going to enter any additional trades. So at this stage, you can actually manage, where your stop is. You can, look at adjusting that. And basically why you would do this is you'll be looking at a signal chart, you'll be deciding on what is happening on that chart, and then you're managing your position. So the whole thing about this strategy is we are managing the strategy. So that's why we've got these incredible buttons and sliders on the chart, because it's giving us the opportunity to completely manage everything that the strategy is doing, which is vitally important because we're able to decide whether we only want to have long positions or short positions. We want to decide how far we want the trades to be spaced out, what our stops are, what our targets are. So instead of actually physically entering positions, we are just monitoring, or we are just managing our existing trade. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit because this is going to be good to watch in action. Okay, I'm going to just speed this up, and then we'll cover more of it as we are going. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the strategy entering positions. It's always going to enter up until the maximum entries that we've selected. So we've got 10 entries there, which is only one contract. So because this is MNQ, we're basically only entering one full-size contract at a time. So the good thing about this is you spacing out that one size contract, and instead of entering at one position, you've got multiple stops and multiple targets that are actually in play, and it's going to keep entering to get you to that level of up to 10 contracts. So as you can see, this is a beautiful trending baseline that's actually been going down. Now this is last week's data, so I'm just replaying what last week's data and it's from Monday to Friday. So there we had a baseline break. Okay, so what happened is the price went up, formed a new baseline, and we had those positions that had entered, they have actually stopped out, and the strategy is now trading on the new baseline. So that's what you're going to notice when you're trading this strategy, is you're going to have different baseline breaks depending on what size bar you are working on, and the strategy is going to act on the retracements based on your settings that you have on the chart. So the reason why I've reduced this retracement right down is because I don't know if many of you remember, a while back I actually had a YouTube video where I had a smaller chart, and the strategy basically made about $10,000 in like 3 or 4 days trading the charts like this. It was a smaller chart, a lot more stops and targets were hit, but basically what happens is this strategy is exceptionally powerful at trading these wicks. It's exceptionally powerful at maintaining the positions, maintaining the stops and the targets, and even without its filter selected, just by managing it slightly, by choosing what you want the strategy to do, whether it's long positions only, whether it's short positions, whether it's both directions like we have over there, that's an amazing way to be able to work with this strategy. So this has always been my number one trading strategy. Now obviously there's a few ways of managing it, so we're going to quickly look at that. So I'm just going to go to the data series over here, and I'm just going to center this on price. Okay, just so we can have a look a bit better. So you'll notice that it's got these maximum enter, minimum enter. So all of those values can be adjusted in real time on the chart. So if you want the strategy to trade a certain distance on the chart, you can adjust that minimum distance. So like as an example there, the strategy is only going to enter positions when it passes this minimum distance. You can also set the maximum distance. So you can really choose where on the chart, where on the bar you want to actually trade. So it makes managing the strategy a lot of fun, and you don't have to be concerned about the actual entries of the positions. You just have to be concerned or look after how the strategy is, where it's entering positions. So you're going to notice that it does enter a lot of positions. It's got this trending baseline, the flat baseline are really awesome charts to look at. I mean, so much better than looking at like a minute bar or anything like that, because it's very clear what price is going to be doing with this baseline. So I'll just go back to the data series, and I'm going to just take away the center price on scale. Okay, So as you can see on this day last week, we had the price just trend up, you know, and if you're looking at a signal chart, you will notice that the signal charts would have actually rarely shown that happening. So how do you trade this strategy? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring up, see, it's just my computer's just working a little bit slow here. Going between, come on, just got to minimize this a little bit. Like that. Just bear with me. There's a lot of information being processed here. So I'm just going to duplicate this window. Okay, and the idea behind this is I'm actually going to create a separate signal chart. So if I go and I just make this a little bit smaller, I know in some of the earlier videos I gave very good instructions on how to actually do this. But what we're going to be doing here is we're just going to be looking at like a 2020 bar, like this. Okay, and then we're going to be bringing up one of our signal charts. So this one we'll just work on the template load signal chart combo. Let's use the one that Paul actually created. Okay, so this is a signal chart. And what we're basically looking at is we are deciding based on what the signal chart is doing, whether we want to be in long positions, we want the strategy to be in short positions, and so on. So when you are seeing something like this, now obviously the strategy is trading beautifully because we've got a long trending baseline, but when you are looking at a signal chart like this, this is what is going to determine what you want the strategy to do. So as you can see, obviously we've had the price, you know, go above, you know, the zone of here. Everything is pointing green. So on our strategy itself, we will be pressing long only. Okay, obviously we only want to be entering long trades. So this is how you basically manage the strategy. So no matter what the trending or flat baseline is doing, because your signal chart is telling you that the price is in buyer's territory, you know, the bars are all white, we know that, you know, we only want to be entering long positions. So that is when you will be selecting long positions. And then based on the signal chart, depending on where the price is, where these breakout markers are left behind, you can actually choose to, you know, make sure you're only entering long positions. You don't want to enter any short positions when the price is in, you know, a zone like this. Another thing too is, you know, you can choose when to pause the strategy from entering new positions. So say for example, you are seeing the price drop below a breakout marker being left behind. You might say, well, you know what, I'm going to just pause the strategy, okay, from entering new positions, and it goes to like the orange like that. So now you know you're going to wait for those positions to play out first before, you know, any new positions are entered. So this is basically how Paul, who created this signal chart, trades the strategy. Is he's going to start and pause it based on what he is seeing on a signal chart, you know, and it might be you might use any signal chart. I mean, as we saw earlier, we've also got the, you know, the show me the money signal chart. So if I duplicate this in a new tab and I actually I load up another signal chart, which is template load, and I go, you know, show me the money. Let me just load the one for seconds, okay? Let me just load that one up. You know, similar thing over here. You're looking what the signal chart is telling you. As you can see, it's looking very similar. You got the price above the band, which is a major support and resistance area, and you are deciding, okay, you only want the strategy to go long. So, you know, this whole time, we're talking hours and hours and hours and hours of time where the price is, you know, in a zone of going up. You know, it's above the band, everything is showing up. But you also might get to the stage where you will see that, you price may be hitting some resistance. So for example, right there, you've had a breakout marker left behind. You've had two breakout markers left behind. The price dropped. So temporarily, you can choose, hey, you know what? I'm going to just pause the strategy from entering new positions. When it breaks above, you can let it start again. So it's all about managing a strategy to determine, whether it's going to enter long or short positions. Now, I am getting to the stage of completely programming in signal charts like this, but it's a tremendous amount of work creating automated button clicks based on what the signal chart is telling us. But I am getting there, and that's why I also created this button click to pause the strategy from taking new positions, because I'm going to automate that click in the back end where it's only going to enter new positions when a few things have been shown on the signal chart. So there's going to be different ways. I mean, like now, for example, I'm not going to say, okay, we're definitely going to enter short positions, because no, the price is still in buyer's territory. We only had a few gold bars. The price is still above the Fibonacci level, as you can see, on the signal chart. I mean, it's good to have this on a separate screen anyway. But, you can see on this, the price broke through a Fibonacci level, came and retested it, it's failed to go down. So, you're able to look at these different levels and stuff on the signal chart and actually enter or have the strategy perform what it's supposed to do while you are just managing it. So that is quite an exciting thing to be able to do with the strategy. Is you, instead of worrying about entering positions, wondering where their stops and targets should be, you basically just managing when it's entering, what direction bias you have, and all those damn exciting things which make trading awesome. I mean, I love the idea of giving you guys the opportunity to adjust, sliders, adjust how far you want the trades to be spaced out. I mean, imagine giving you a strategy with nothing that you can do, like a blank chart where you just activate the strategy and then hope for the best. I mean, that is so, to me, that's a cop-out, okay? That's what makes these strategies so amazing is, you've got control over updating settings, choosing your stops and targets, choosing your bias, whether you want to go long only, short only, adjusting retracements. And, all of that makes trading fun, right? It definitely makes it a lot more exciting than just having a strategy running and then hoping for the best that it actually produces results. And this is also a good thing because you don't have to have multiple strategies running. This one strategy, you can adjust it for any instrument, for any bar size that you are trading. Say you're trading like the ES or the MES. You won't be using a 200 bar size. You might be using an 80 bar size as an example, and then you'll be managing your spacing out, your minimum distance. You adjust it according to the bar size that you're working on. So this is a strategy that I would love you guys to work with. Don't just let it run like 100% automated like I've got it set up here. I mean, I just literally pushed start and let it run. I wasn't specifically looking at signal charts and what they're doing, but that is the ideal way to do it. You are looking at signal charts, like there you might want to say, okay, well, I'm going to just pause it now because it's looking like the price is broken through, we've got more gold lines, and then you're going to start it again because look, the price is around the the Fibonacci level. We've got an up arrow, we've still got divergences, but look, we've got the price back in buyer's territory. You can start it again, choose your direction bias or keep that direction bias that you had before. So these signal charts are absolutely fundamental to running the strategies. And these breakout markers, oh my god, they are so accurate. If you're running playback and you are even watching these breakout markers, they are forming in real time. They are 100% in real time, and also during live conditions, these markers are plotting where they plot. And as you can see, they're adjusting as new signals are presented. Like there, a breakout marker was left behind. On the tick, and the price dropped. I mean, there's another breakout marker just after a Fibonacci level left behind. You know, that's like, okay, you know, that's a point of interest. So, you know, I know many of you love working with the strategy, but I want to encourage you guys to look at, you know, look at the strategy again, work with it in this way, you know, choosing your direction bias, looking at a second chart to determine, you know, when you want the strategy to trade, what direction you want it to trade, and all that. Now, obviously, we've had a major run up here. You know, that's not always going to be the case, obviously, right? So that's why I said it's not just a completely set and forget strategy. I mean, on all the playback that I've run, you know, it's been exceptionally powerful, this strategy. So I'll bring up the other chart in a moment, just trying to get, you know, it to run. But you know, this is just a sample of data. Okay, now we obviously are going to have baseline breaks, but you know, your signal charts are going to tell you that, right? You know, that's why you've got this here. And all of this is telling us, you know, what price is likely to be doing. So managing the strategy settings, looking at the key Fibonacci levels, because they come into play all the time. So any questions on that? If there's any questions in the Zoom, you guys can pop that in. There we go. Okay, awesome. I see the YouTube video is going well over there too. Okay, great. Okay, so I mean, I'm going to cover this strategy again on a separate video where I'm going to run the playback like this. I'm also going to trade this live. So this is also an incredible strategy to trade if you want to trade like the open, like the 9, even the 9 to 10 a.m. or, you know, trading that. You know, you can start, pause the strategy, choose your direction bias based on what the signal chart is doing. I mean, there's your signal chart. It's giving you absolutely powerful signals to tell you, you know, where price is likely to go. So all of that, all of these wicks over here, all these wicks that you are seeing, that is the price movement. And you know, how clear is it to have, you know, a signal chart like this? I mean, obviously the bars are going up and down and all over the place, but the chart itself, you know, it's so simple to read. I mean, it's so simple to read. The price is either going to go up to run the baseline, or it's going to go down and form a new baseline. So we'll just let this run a little bit more, because I actually want to show you guys what happens when the baseline breaks. So we'll just let this run a bit. This has just been an incredible run up in price. We'll just look at our signal charts. There we've had some good divergences there, but the price is still going up. We've got some stronger Fibonacci levels that have come into play. This is more of the weekly Fibonacci levels. So, you know, they all come into play and, you know, are a good indication of what price is doing and where those support and resistance levels are. Okay, so this one's still going up. So I like this specific size wick, because what basically happens is the price has to go 200 ticks down for it to break the baseline, or the price is going to continue forming these little wicks and then entering positions and then, you know, trading them with their stops and targets. Now, another thing too I've realized with this is it's a very good idea to actually just have a wider target on this, not just having a, you know, a small target. You want the trade to actually run, and you know that trailing stop is going to help you, you know, cut the losses short when they are. So like as an example, if this baseline had to come down and break now, you know, the stop is a lot closer. So, that's the great thing about that is it's going to just continue to trail the price by that 200 ticks. Because ultimately you don't want to be trading short until baselines have been broken. Okay, so like I said, I haven't adjusted the distances of where the trades enter. We're just seeing how the strategy enters its position. I want to just bring up the signal chart again. So I mean, that's the cool thing. I mean, you don't have to go and enter manual positions. So the whole point of this, of showing you this strategy, is don't be too concerned about going and entering manual positions. Let the strategy enter its position. You manage when it enters and in which direction it enters. And I mean, it's just so much, there's so much less, you have to think about than worrying about where your stops and targets are if you're just managing the strategy itself. And the psychological benefit of that is incredible. And then you can actually call yourself a trader. You're not just pushing start on a strategy because you got a template and you're hoping for the best, or you bought from some company and they just said run these strategies and they'll make money. You actually controlling a strategy instead of just letting something run, and then it's not a cop out, in other words. And the great thing is these signals are presenting all day, every day. If you've got the price breaking through these markers and above the price, you only want to be going long, right? I mean, that's pretty obvious. So you continually monitoring what's happening on these charts. And like I said, there's going to be a stage where these signal charts are going to be completely incorporated into the strategy, where they're only going to be acting and enabling themselves or enabling itself depending on what's happening on the signal chart. Now, that does happen to a small degree on this, because we do have a filter for the signal chart combo 4, which again, is in the training document for this. So that already filters out entries and decides when the strategy is going to trade and which direction it's going to trade. But just working manually with this over the coming few days, especially when the game plan strategies aren't running, if you want to just load up another chart, pop on, even keep with this chart, because at least you've got a good rundown now of what a chart looks like, the size. I'm actually going to save this very specific template. You can obviously adjust your maximum entries. You can slightly space out the trades a bit further, but ideally you want to keep the retracement level right down. And that's because when the strategy is supposed to enter trades, you want it to enter trades immediately. So when a marker like this is showing major support, you want the strategy to enter trades, right? You don't want to wait for a larger retracement. You know that marker has been left behind, the price is going up, the resistance is holding, let the strategy trade. It's the same thing when you see the price start dropping like this, like now we've got the momentum line right down again. We've got a few things happen. I mean, this is obviously going very fast on the chart, but we've got no inclination at the moment that this price wants to actually go down. There we've had a few more breakout markers, so it's giving you a lot of opportunity to be in and out the market based on what the price is doing. So I know I've been going on a lot about this strategy, but can you see the absolute value in it of not going physically and entering at a specific point and setting your target, setting your stop? I mean, all of that is unnecessary to do. Rather be in the position where you can manage the settings for a strategy. Like, okay, so there was outside of trading hours. So there it's traded from 7 p.m. to 4 p.m. So that's what that did on that specific day. Now, obviously, we had just one baseline break, which is extremely rare, okay? But, if we look at the performance of that, we've only got real-time data, you will see that, it entered 177 trades, and then we can actually plot those trades, and we can see, with the commission calculated, the times, we can see the losing positions, the winning positions, and so on. Okay, so now obviously it's not going to make 10 grand or 6 grand a day. I mean, that's not what, that's not realistic. Okay, but we do have options. I mean, you're going to have baseline breaks. So you want to be looking at your signal chart and you want to be deciding, okay, so where is price right now? What is it likely to do next? Now, again, like I said, it's really helpful to have this on a separate chart, but just starting this trading day, if you look at where the price is, you see where it is, you see how, it's working around these support and resistance areas. You can say, well, okay, now the price is starting to be in seller's territory. We've got these breakout markers. At this point now, we got to decide, okay, do we want to be in this position? Do we want to be in these positions? Do we want to enter more positions? Do we only want to go short positions? Like, are we at the stage now where we want to only enter short positions? And if at this stage we decide, hey, you know what, this price looks like it's going down. Okay, now obviously I'm going shit fast, but when you're in a real-time environment and you see this type of thing happen where the price is below these breakout markers, you would rather just pause the strategy, okay, exit the positions that you are in, and wait for it to continue to give you a sign of what's happening. Okay, so you're going to be watching the signal chart, it's going to be running, and then you're going to decide, okay, well, right now the price is in seller's territory, we've got Fibonacci levels coming up. So you know what, I only want to enter short positions. So I'm going to start the strategy. If this baseline breaks, I'm going to enter short, but you know what, we at Fibonacci levels now, so I'm just going to hold on a little bit. I'm going to just wait until I've made 100% certain that the price has broken to a new level, which it just has. Okay, great. So now we're in seller's territory. Okay, so now we are at this level. We've got to watch these breakout markers. We've got to watch what's happening around the Fibonacci levels. And, again, so this thing starts again. There's our new baseline. Okay, so, we've had a baseline break. Now the price is going down. So, obviously, we've got to be monitoring, what price is doing on our signal chart. And guys, I'm sorry I'm harping on about this, but if you can get this right, you are going to absolutely crush it. I mean, crush it. I mean, this strategy is, it's so manageable, takes a little bit to get used to, but shit, man, if you can manage this effectively, you can choose your direction bias, you'll kill it. You'll absolutely kill it in the market. It's, you won't even have to look at anything else. I mean, some people get a major thrill out of this, out of managing a strategy, letting it do its thing. You just choosing direction bias, and you just choosing when you want the strategy to trade. So like, a lot of the time you might say, you can choose. I mean, you can choose when to be in and out the market. You can say, well, I'm going to just pause it at this stage because it's not giving me clear indication of what's happening. I'm not saying that this is not giving me clear indication, because this is, a lot is happening right here. We've got breakout markers, we've got Fibonacci levels. So you just wait and say, okay, well, I'm going to just see what's happening here first. And then, okay, well, now I'm confident for the strategy to enter more positions, so I'm going to start it again. So, I mean, all of this can be accomplished, just by deciding, looking at a signal chart, deciding on which chart you want to work with. You might even have multiple signal charts like I have over here, following where the price is and then managing it accordingly. Okay. And if you did that, for for a couple of hours a day, even if it's 2 or 3 hours a day, managing the settings when you wanted to trade, because I mean ultimately you've got control, right? You've got control of, you know, which direction you want the strategy to trade, when it must trade, what the stops are, what the targets are, and you know, before long you'll be killing it in the market. Okay, great. I hope that was helpful. So I'm gonna share this template, like I said, you know, for the strategy in the group. So if you guys run your script in about 30 minutes or so, first of all, update to the latest assembly, which is the 13th of January. And then you will notice that you're able to change your retracement level back down, like, you know, to 1. You're able to load this template and just let it run. Even if you want to run last week's playback like we're doing here, you want to run this live on your trading chart, you know, same thing. Just, you know, work with it, and you know, start off with the settings that I've produced here, because you know they are pretty good settings. We'll just look at my other chart. It has actually frozen up. Oh no, it's just extremely slow on my desktop. But you know, a similar thing there. If I can bring that up, let me just see if I can bring that on the screen. It's just gonna be a bit painful. Actually, I'm trying to do too much here. That's the problem. I'm working between a VPS and my main computer. Yeah, no, it's not working to bring that up. But have a look at that. I mean, you know, instead of you going manually working out, okay, where should I enter? Where should I put my stop? You know, you're just controlling a strategy. And it's going to enter, you know, based on that retracement. I mean, you're going to have these amazing runs where you are choosing your direction, letting your strategy run, and before you know it, bam, you're successful with it. Okay, is there any questions on that, or is that pretty self-explanatory? Okay, great, awesome. Okay, so let's have a look. We've had our, I'm just going to bring up this quickly. We've got, so thanks for sharing the results for last week. Let me just have a look at my thing over here. Okay, great. So the game plan, you know, I had fair results over the week. Not fantastic. We had obviously the first week back, but you know, thanks to the guys sharing your personal results, trading your accounts, that's been really good. I mean, so you know, keep doing that. I know some of the main guys trading the Medina have just put it on the side for now because they've been working with different strategies. But now this is going to be a light bulb moment for you guys to jump back in to the Medina and, you know, work with it, because it is out of this world incredible. So what else? Okay, so I'm also going to be launching a new update to the to people who are not currently subscribed to the DTB system. Okay, so I've got a new update coming this week. It's probably going to be on Wednesday, and that update is going to be regarding a new update to the free offering. So it's going to give the guys so much more of an opportunity to be successful trading manually, and you know, it's going to include an incredible update. So I look forward to releasing that later this week. And I know it's going to make a huge difference to, you know, people trading futures. And so watch out for that video. You know, I know it's going to be extremely beneficial. Okay, so that's, like I said, I'm going to launch a separate video on the game plan which we're going to be doing. It's going to be a bit later on today. And like I said, we're only going to be running from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. Okay. And that is it from me, actually. So thanks for jumping on the call, guys. Where's my I don't know what's going on here, damn it. There we go. Thanks for jumping on the call, guys. And just watch out for more updates and kick ass with this Medina strategy. I know you guys will, and we shall chat soon. Okay, thanks guys. Cheers.